Welcome to our NCAA semifinal press conference with San Diego. We're joined by head coach Jennifer Petrie and student athletes Gabby Blossom and Katie Lukes. As a courtesy to your fellow media members, as well as the coaches and student athletes, please silence your cell phones. Recording press conference video on cell phones is prohibited. Coach, if you would please begin with an opening statement, and then we'll go to questions for Coach or the student athletes.
Great, thank you. Such a awesome experience for us to be here at the Final Four, and joined with some really tremendous competitors, and two of which we've got to play this past season, which is really exciting for us. But yeah, we're thrilled to be here. We're excited to get out on the court and compete and continue this miraculous season we're having.
All right, we'll take questions now. Please raise your hand if you have a question, and we'll bring a microphone to you. Please identify yourself and affiliation, and also please identify by name who your question is for.
Lee Feinswag from volleyballmag.com. Gabby, I assume sitting there, this is the reason why you did what you did.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I got so lucky. I think someone asked today, like, was this what you expected? And it exceeded every possible expectation I could have had.
Katie, you talk about being here in Omaha. Nebraska's not here. There's not any Big Ten teams here. Why should the fans rally around your team?
You know, I think we have stood by our statement, why not us, all year, and we really, really proved it. You can see in the way that we play, we really just love the sport and love each other, so I think we're really fun to watch because we show a lot of joy when we play. And I know people like to call us the underdog, but I think that we've earned our spot here. We deserve to be here, and we're really fun to watch.
Gabby, you played here a couple years ago during the spring, with the spring tournament here. Does that provide any experience or help you out, kind of know what goes on to the Final Four in Omaha?
Yeah, well, this is actually my first Final Four, so this is like a whole new experience for me. The COVID year, I think, was just so different. We were in a bubble, everything was really different, so this is a whole new experience, and I'm so glad I get to experience it with this staff and this team.
Lee with volleyballmag.com. Jen, specifically, what do you and your assistants have for assignments and division of labor? Who does what? Practice, formulating the season, and then an actual match prep?
It's really very collaborative. Alfie and I do a lot of practice planning, discussing training, drill preparation. Jimmy and Alfie do a lot of the statistical breakdown of what to expect in the scouting in those terms. A lot of the scouting videos are done through Jimmy and Alfie. You know, as far as culture work, the three of us all work very closely in creating vision and certainly our pillars and our foundation of the program. That was a lot of war room time for our staff. We spent a lot of hours together creating verbiage and language and how we were going to operate this team this year, knowing that we were going to have something special. So.
Like, for example, Jared said specifically, you know, he has an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator. Do you do that
sure.
kind of?
Yeah.
So you take that a step farther.
Well, I'll
please.
take that a step farther because there's three of us, and
Right.
so we have to be the coordinators of everything. I mean, we don't have a lot of break. Obviously, Alfie does a tremendous job training a lot of our positions, and he'll work with setters specifically. We'll get in the gym and do a lot of work with Gabby and our other setters. But after that, you know, we will break up, and he and I will do a lot of the offensive work together. I think blocking would be a big part for him. But when we go into practice, we'll split up positions, and it'll be a rotation. It's, you know, sometimes we'll have part of our staff with offense and middles, and sometimes, you know, Jimmy will be off with middle blockers working on footwork. So I mean, my staff is tremendous in the fact that we can be hands-on in a lot of different areas, and we have to wear a lot of different hats because it's the three of us. That's it. There's no other technical coordinator. There's no other Dovo. So when I say we rotate hats, we do a lot of things, and we extract a lot from each other.
Yeah, Coach, I just want to ask a little bit about the fact there's no Big Ten team here. There's no Pac-12 team here. Obviously, you were one of the teams that kept the Pac-12 out. What that says about the growth of the sport to have this Final Four. And my second question is, and I asked Coach Busboom Kelly about this, that this is just the second time we've had 2 women head coaches at the Final Four. And she said being a mom, that has started to mean more to her. You're also a mom. So I wonder if you could talk about those 2 things, please.
Yes. Can you repeat the first part of that? You went on to me being a mom, and I'm really onto that right now. So.
I guess first of all, just the growth of the sport with
yes,
you know
parity.
how
yes, yes, the parity. Yeah, certainly I think this season more than ever, the depth and strength of the competitive teams across the country and across board and across conferences has really shown, and that's been a tremendous growth in volleyball right now. Our conference had 4 teams in the tournament this year, and that's a testament to what's happening. RPI-wise, people are getting out there, they're playing each other, they're not afraid to be challenged, regardless of what conference you're in. And that's certainly been our philosophy all along, is to just play as many teams as we can in many different regions and, who we think are going to be challenging us at this point of the year. So it was a tremendous year for that. I'm excited that you mentioned being a mom, because I certainly know in my journey that having children has made me a better coach, 100%. Because I know that these women are somebody's daughter. And how would I want them to treat my daughter, and how I communicate with them, how I treat them is very important. And the nurturing environment that goes between when you come in as a 17-year-old and you leave as a 22-year-old, there's a lot of development there, and there's a lot that happens off the court in that progression as well as on the court. So certainly I feel that that's been a huge part of my coaching experience.
Hi, Coach. Cedric Golden, Austin American Statesman. Logan Eggleston is the head of that Texas Snake. What are your impressions of her as a player and also as a representative of this sport?
I love her strength and her courage, and I think that she's a tremendous leader for that program. She's a fierce competitor, and she really is the driving force, like you said, of that program, and it's fun to watch her play because she is just has so much competitive energy. It'll be exciting and a challenge to play against that.
Lincoln Arneal, Omaha World Herald. Gabby, what is it like being the new kid in the program, transferring in after being at Penn State for a number of years and kind of integrating yourself into the team culture and developing relationships as a center, which are probably more important than any other position on the floor?
Yeah, so we had a couple of transfers, but I was lucky that I got to come in January, and also so lucky this program welcomed me with open arms, from the staff to the players. It was really seamless. We had a lot of older kids like Katie and Annie that had been in this program for so long that really just led by example and showed the way and what the culture of this program was. So I think I couldn't have been luckier to come to this place and have the people I had around me to help me. And then obviously being a setter, I had to develop relationships and figure out what people needed. And then getting here in January was the key to that. It's something we talked about a lot when I was in the portal, was how early could I get to school here. So I was lucky enough I got to graduate from Penn State and come out here. Yeah, but all those things were really important. But Jen talked about our culture earlier, and that allows people to come into this program and kind of fit in seamlessly.
Lee with volleyballmag.com. Jen, I'm not suggesting that you don't coach Gabby, but was there an element of it's not broken, don't fix it, you know what you're doing, do your job when she came in?
I think certainly from the start it was like that. Let's see where we're at and how you can adapt and change and what areas you might be able to do that to fit into what our system will look like. She would probably say that she was challenged a lot, and Alfie probably challenged her a lot to make some changes in her game, but certainly the crux of who she is and how she plays, that we didn't want to change at all.
And Gabby, maybe some fine points that you might make note of?
Yeah, so I think the biggest thing I had to change when I got here was getting the ball in my hands faster. Obviously, we run a really fast offense, and Katie can hit at an incredible speed, and we wanted to be able to give her the ball she needed, and that meant that I had to get the ball in my hands faster to fit into this offense. So there was a lot of grace. I think I'm so lucky our coaches gave me some time to figure it out, because it wasn't the easiest thing, but I mean, it worked. Here we are running this offense. So I think that was probably the biggest change. And then, I mean, there were small changes, obviously, in different aspects, but in terms of setting, it was getting the ball to my hands faster.
Yeah, Katie, I was just wondering if you could, talk about Coach, the fact that she's been so successful for so many years, but you're part of this team to get her to a Final Four, what that's meant to this group, and what are some of the aspects she talked about, her coaching philosophy, how does that impact you?
Yeah, I was just thinking when she was talking, I feel like we always look at Jen like she's kind of a second mom to all of us. I think there's a lot of balance in our program, and we really value family and, our own families, but also just creating a family within our team and just finding like the joy in volleyball. I think a lot of times, like, she always has an open door policy, so like we can talk to her about anything, and it's a really open program, and we're closer than we've ever been. And I've never felt like so. I feel like our program is really unique in that way. So I'm just really blessed that I was there for 5 years to be a part of that and to grow with the team, because I always knew our vision was great, and we obviously have exceeded our vision this year. So I think Jen is just such an incredible leader and role model for all of us. And yeah, I love her a lot, and she's just taught us a lot. And yeah, I just think it's such a unique program in the way that she brings us all together in a family aspect.
Jen, on the other side of that, I mean, how does it feel to finally reach this stage of the tournament? And did any doubt ever creep in your mind that this moment would finally ever happen?
It takes a lot to get to this point in any program and for any coach. It's certainly the pinnacle right now of my career to be here, and certainly to be here with this group, because it's a vision that we started in January and has come to fruition, which is just phenomenal. I've never had doubts in my mind that we have been a stellar program. Certainly this has exceeded that, and we've busted the ceiling on where we've been stuck for quite some time, Sweet 16 several times. So this season certainly is raising the bar for a lot of teams that are going to come after them. And, our hope is that the USD volleyball program is here to stay.
Any more questions?
Do you ever hear from USD alum John Cook on the work that you're doing?
Yeah, I just heard from John Cook 2 days ago. I played club for John Cook. So he and I have, I was 15. So it's been a long time, a long relationship, and he's been a mentor to me, certainly, through those years. And I learned a lot at a young age, just, observing and seeing how he coached and how he ran a very successful club program at the time, which I'm sure he just, parlayed right into a fantastic college program. But yeah, he said, go for the gold.
No further questions? All right. Thank you, San Diego.
Thank you very much.